Hello, my name is Christian Gifaro, and today I'll be presenting to you about the conflict of the Syrian war. The Syrian war began in the Arab Spring in 2011 when President Bashar al-Assad have ordered his police and militaries to kill over at least 1,000 protesters. The reason why he killed those protesters because they were protesting an anti-government and riot toward President al-Assad because of his power and corruption. However, President Assad refused to be removed as president because of his family, grandfather, and father. Because of this incident, the Syrian Arab Republican decided to begin their conflict with the Assad government. Therefore, the Syrian war began. Okay. The alliance for the war, the Assad family, they have Hezbollah, Iran, and Russia. The reason why, because in the past, these three countries were peace with Syria, with the Assad government, because they helped them in their situation in the past, including like providing military action and other things with the economy. And as for the Syrian opposition by the internal government, they are led by their own armies like the Free Syrian Army, the Syrian National Army, the National for Liberation, and Al-Shir al-Sam. Well, it's not just only the Syrian army to fight against the Assad government, they also have the supporters like Turkey, United States, Saudi Arabia, United Kingdom, French, and Qatar to help them with the conflict. Along with them is ISIS. Like ISIS is not part of their group, but since they're already a terrorist organization, they're in the conflict against Hezbollah and Iran, and Syria. Okay. As the conflict began 8 years ago, like the both population, like in Syria and later Lebanon, are suffering due to the conflict. For example, like Lebanon is resisting to go against the Assad government and other international relations. But however, there's one thing: ISIS is invading their country, led their which led their conflict with Syria and both ISIS, and Syria is suffering their conflicts consequences. For the military power, Hezbollah has sent in over at least between 7,000 and 10,000 of the troops in the border of Syria and trained them. Russia is providing weapons of technical and militia support, which includes airstrike and also training Syrian soldiers to prepare for the war and upcoming events. And as for Iran, they deployed over at least 15,000 troops, including technical support, and decided to use their finance support to estimate at least $20 billion each year for the conflict. Well, as as Syria's had one major history in the past, a chemical weapon attack. The United States discovered like that they launched a chemical weapon at Kun Shakun, like spraying their chemical weapons all over innocent people or the resistance. Because of this, the United States launched an airstrike missile and destroyed it. Because of this, like there was a rumor that Syria is still manufacturing the weapons, and the whole country, like the United States and the UK, are watching closely if the chemical weapons is going to be only in Syria, Russia, Iran, or Lebanon, just in case in the future. Now then, finally, for the consequences of Syria that they're going to experience in the aftermath of the war. For example, let's say sooner or later in the years, if the Syria conflict is over, then Syria's president Assad will be killed or surrender. Therefore, the Assad government are completely abolished. But as for Syria, it's going to suffer a major tragedy. For example, the population within a town and citizens are going to collapse and decline due to the war and even losing like a lot of money. But there's one way how, like the country needs a leader since President Assad created a disaster in the war. So now there's one way how to fix it, like having a new leader from the Syrian opposition to rebuild Syria into a fresh start, and within 10 years, it'll be a peaceful land and the Arab Spring is restored. Thank you and good day.